Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, get down.
Hamatito, no. Sorry, the kitty was trying to jump on the PlayStation TV.
What did you say?
His name is Anansi, which is a West African spider god. I told you that. But I
Yeah.
call him Little Ham in Spanish. So jamon is ham, and I call him jamoncito. So that means little ham. Jamoncito.
Yeah, but it sounded like you said something like uwu at the end or something. Like a mix of Japanese and Spanish.
I don't know what I said.
Like a Spanish anime.
Spanish anime. I love it.
Saying something in Spanish and then going, ooh.
I think my husband yelling something in the background, so he probably in the background. Oh, I don't. But
Dude.
I probably fucking something in anime.
Hey Lex. Hey Serena. Damn,
Oh,
people
you
jumping in
guys.
quick.
Yeah. We're all a
Um,
little quick up in here. Dude,
dude, I jumped out
have
of
you
bed
played
so
Rust?
fucking fast, Chrome.
What?
I said I jumped out of bed so fucking fast.
I'm so sorry I scared you. I just wanted to make sure you're alive. I was legitly worried about you, and I care about you, and I wanted to make sure you're cool. So that's all that was. No judgment.
Yeah, man. I jumped out and I was like, who's there? What the fuck?
Well, I messaged Lex and Hannah, and I said I was worried about you. I haven't heard from Cody. I hope he's doing okay. So.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
I
good.
just forgot to
Nothing
turn my
wrong.
Discord off when I turned my live off.
That's cool.
And I did, I didn't turn my volume down. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden I hear, Cody, are you okay? What the fuck?
Oh shit.
Because I live with my dad, so when I hear a woman, I assumed like, holy shit, is my grandma here? Is my dad okay?
That's really funny. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're fine.
Oh, cool. And I got plenty of sleep. See, there was one time when I stayed up for 11 days straight, and because I had a problem where I couldn't sleep, I get insomnia really bad. This is the worst it's ever happened. I've never stayed up more than like 2 days, maybe 3. I'm even like when I was doing drugs, I couldn't stay up because I hated drugs like meth. So I didn't like staying up. Staying up is a big no-no for me. It fucks me up in the head. And when I stayed up for 11 days, when I was pissing, it looked like coffee. Like, it seriously looked like I was pissing mud. Huh?
Dude.
Yeah, I think my kidneys were failing. Because did you know if you stay up too long, you'll die?
Yeah, because your body needs to repair itself.
Yeah.
Or
One
you
of
can
the
have a heart attack.
one of the coolest
Oh,
one of the coolest things your body does when you're asleep is your your veins and capillaries and everything where your blood goes through and your brain, they shrink down at night. That way your cerebral spinal fluid can go in between the synapses in your brain and wash out any extra neurotransmitters that are in there. That's why if you can't get those out and you don't sleep, those neurotransmitters just kind of float around sometimes. Not all the time, but some of them float around and keep binding when they're not supposed to, and that's why you hallucinate when you stay up too long.
Oh.
Plus,
that
your
makes
brain's
sense.
working extra hard, extra overtime, and it's not healthy when you do that.
Yeah, because your body needs to rest too after everything's. It's trying to run your whole body. It's the whole like computer of your system, right? So like, if your brain is not getting that restart, you're gonna.
More like the
Ugh, your
CPU
body.
of your system.
Yeah.
The thing that controls and distinguishes everything from what it gets.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm not in chat. Let me see. I mean, I'm not on YouTube chat. Let's see. You're streaming right now?
Yeah, I just turned it back on. I'm probably
Shit, you
gonna
said
play
that.
some more High on Life. Oh yeah, so anyways, now I've been trying to. Oh fuck, I missed Duff's live tonight. But I needed sleep, dude.
Dude, like, you passed the fuck out. That's why I, like, was like, yeah, I think you came on at one moment. I think you
Mm-hmm.
said hi once, and then you dipped out. And I was like, oh my god, is Cody okay?
Yeah, I think I came on just to say, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on. Because, dude, I have. This is why I'm on SSD and not. This is why I don't have a job. No one is gonna hire someone that can't promise they'll come in every day, because if I have an anxiety attack, I can't go in, and it's fucking awful. I'm not
Yeah.
anxious today. I just am finally ready to crash after not sleeping all week. That's why I didn't stream. Um,
I was wondering if, like, you were dealing with sickness or if you were dealing with no
No.
judgment, Cody. I'll
just
leave that.
exhaustion.
Or something. I
Oh.
was like, why is he getting out like this? I wasn't
No.
thinking anything bad about you, but I just worried because I see my brother like go in and out, and my other brother like abused pills, and I've seen people fucked up before, and I'm not an angel. I like to drink alcohol and smoke weed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just.
No, I'm a recovering addict. I'd tell you if I had used, but I can't use because I can get a UA anytime, anywhere. Or well, not anywhere, but I go up to the clinic every day, so I could get a UA at any time. And I've been so proud of myself. Because I've been clean over 5 years now from illicit opiates.
That's good.
Oh yeah, and the reason why I brought that up is because I'm on methadone and I can't take other opiates. It's a blocker, so it blocks other opiates. So even if I wanted to get high, I wouldn't be able to.
No, my husband asked if it helps with alcohol. My therapist wants me to get a blood work done. Well, I just want to say really quick, my therapist wants me to get my blood work done so she can put me on medication to stop drinking alcohol, and it's not because I want to drink alcohol. I'm just like pretty much fucking bored and miserable, and I lost my license due to my DUI and having a high alcohol account or a high alcohol like a high BHC or whatever.
Yeah, blood alcohol, BAC.
Yeah, blood alcohol content that I got it like within a month, and I was dealing with really bad PTSD, and I've known people, Cody, that have gotten really fucking wasted on alcohol and took a bunch of pills and drove their car off the road and crashed and caused accidents and almost killed other people, but because they had money, they were able to get their license. And me,
You know, I never got.
I fucking.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to make it like a privileged battle, but like my husband was asking about if that would help with alcohol, and I think whatever my
No.
psychiatrist wants to prescribe me would help with alcohol, or like make the cravings less. Cause I used to like before only drink in the weekends, and now I'm like drinking daily. And
I
it's
can't
not
believe
healthy.
my dad and I were just talking about this the other day. He was scared he was gonna have to go on this medication. It's called
Yeah.
Antabuse. I don't have to look it up.
Yeah.
And it makes it to where if you drink when you're on it, you get incredibly sick.
That's what I heard. And
Um, There's some anecdotal evidence that Suboxone can help with
Yeah.
alcohol because it has Narcan in it, and Narcan seems to have some sort of effect on alcohol. It's not it's not gonna like bring them back if they overdose on alcohol. Narcan won't bring them back. There's anecdotal evidence that might help a little bit, but really the only medicine I know that they give out for alcohol abuse is Antabuse, and that means that if you're taking it and you take alcohol, you get sick. My dad's a pipe fitter, and usually, like, when you're a pipe fitter, they've changed things around, but when my dad got in my dad was born in 1960, so in 1978 when he got into the pipe fitters, back then they didn't even do drug tests. And they pretty much expected anybody coming in to be a pipe fitter was going to be an alcoholic.
Oh, because it was a dangerous job.
Oh yeah, miserable fucking job too. You end up working shit like 7/12s half the year.
Yeah.
And the other half when it's winter time and there's no work to be done, they just live off the money.
Yeah.
But when my dad retired, guess how much my dad made an hour when he retired?
Oh, 50, 60?
More.
$100 an hour.
100?
Not that much. $64 an hour.
That's still a fucking lot, dude. Wow. My husband's saying right now pipe fitters make really good money.
Oh yeah, union ones especially.
He says they make more than ETs and maintenance guys.
Yeah. Once you take out all of their benefits, once you take out, that includes death benefits, that includes retirement benefits, that includes health insurance. When you take all of the benefits that they get and you take them out of their pay, they still make over $30 an hour. That's just $30 an hour to take home on the check. That's and they get some of the best. They just switched from Blue Cross Blue Shield to a Medicaid supplement plan, which is really fucked up. And they, but still, dude, $32, and that was, let me see, I was maybe 20 or so when he retired. So that was over a decade ago that they were making that much. They're probably making more now. But
yeah.
Lex, hold on, let me read.
I'm not reading. I should probably go on the live to read.
Cotton 4K. Lex.
Oh my god, that is the craziest shit and it's so fucking funny.
Lex said Chrome caught on 4K. She was Chrome caught in 4K. She was catch you later and left me on Discord. Oh snap. Because you were snoring really loud.
I'm sleepy! I didn't mean to fall asleep. I was trying to make sure the
Bye,
recording
Lex.
died, okay?
I think Lex just came on to make a few jokes and leave.
But it's so funny.
Wait, what do you mean you guess you'll go later, Serena?
What?
Because I'm still streaming? Serena said that.
Oh.
Like, I literally just turned my live on. It's only been on for 15 minutes.
Alright,
Is that Chromie? Yes. She's still on. I think she... Did you just wake up just now and see that I was still on Discord? Yeah, guys, I forgot to turn off Discord, so Chrome was like, Cody, and it scared the shit out of me, and I woke up and got back into my
I
seat.
didn't mean to have this. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to have it like repeating itself.
No, it's fine. Trust me, I got
I'll
plenty of
go in
sleep
a
today.
second.
And
Yeah.
today,
Hey, I'll be right back, okay? Give me a sec, okay?
Okay.
Alright, one moment.
I think the guys in chat just came up and left. I'm gonna get back on High on Life. But you should still be able to talk, I hope. Let me get my thing on so I can see chat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water. Let me know when you're back, Chrome, so I can make sure Discord still works while I'm got the screen at full screen. I'm pretty sure I should still be able to hear Discord talk. I'm gonna delete my last stream where I slept through 2 or 3 hours of it because I don't want it to get taken down and get a strike. Because I know that's one big no-no is you're not supposed to leave your stream unattended. Although I don't really expect to ever get big enough. How do I get to where all my lives are? Come on. There we go. Oh, I can't delete it.
Hey Cody,
Yo,
this is Phantom's husband.
what up?
Nothing much. Do you play Rust by any chance?
Nope.
I just started playing the game. It's a big pain in the ass. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah. It's a survival game, right? Like you start out with nothing and you have to like build up your inventory and your bases and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, look, you have a rock and you hit a tree with it and get wood and more rocks. And then some dude comes through with a machine gun and lights you up, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you lose everything, you don't get it back. You have to start all over.
I saw a video about that where there was a guy who had never placed anything down, and these guys made like they met him and he didn't have anything, he had never picked anything up, he had never placed anything down like doors or walls, and so he was a brand new player, and they paid him to stay online, and like they made him just like this little tiny bunker room, and they said, we'll pay you to stay online, and anytime anyone comes near, you just put the most annoying fucking music that you can put out there.
Oh, nice.
And make so they're constantly looking around trying to find you, and they had everywhere to get to him super booby trapped. So this guy was like one of the #1 players because they just hired him to stand there and play music, and he had never even like dropped a single thing, but he was one of the best players ever
Nice.
because they were protecting him.
Every time like you gain one thing, you lose another. So
Yeah.
like I had good materials, but I had no food, so I starved to death. And I had food, but I had good materials, so I froze to death.
Yeah, they would go and bring food to him and stuff and everything he needed to stay alive, just so he could blast annoying music to anyone that tried to come to get their shit.
Nice.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, now I'm like up and like super up. I don't get groggy usually when I wake up in the morning. I don't know. I see, it's hard to say that the surgery did that to me because I was already having problems sleeping. And before I had my surgery is when I didn't sleep for 11. See, usually when people tell me they've been up for over a week, I'm like, I don't believe you. Because people, even meth heads that think they've been up for over a week, they have what's known as micro sleeps. They fall asleep all of the time, but it's just for a few minutes at a time, and they wake up. But if you don't have micro sleeps, and you keep not sleeping, you will die. The record is 11 days. And the reason why it's not longer is because Guinness Book of World Records had to stop allowing people to try to break that record because people were dying.
Yeah, that's not a good record to break.
Yeah, if you don't sleep, you die. And in fact, there's a condition where your body won't let you fall asleep for some reason, and there's no cure for it. It's called fatal familial insomnia.
Fall asleep.
And I thought that's what was happening to me when my kidneys failed. I had to go to the doctor. It was fucking horrible.
It sucks.
And after the first few days of not sleeping, like the hallucinations become so vivid and real, it actually made me scared to fall asleep. Because after a few days of not sleeping, I was convinced the next time I slept I was gonna die.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been obsessed with lucid dreaming ever since I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, same here. Do you have premonitions too then?
What's that?
Do you have premonitions too then? Like where you can see the future?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I do.
I made it a couple times, but it's hard to say.
I remember one time, I've told this story on here before, but I remember one time I came home and my mom had a gift for me all wrapped up, and all of a sudden this deja vu hit me. And she was like, "Why are you so sad?" Like, she thought she messed up. And I'm like, "I'm not sad, Mom. I'm happy. I just knew I was getting a GameCube today." And she's like, "How'd you know it was in there? Did you..." First she was like, "Did you, like, she was like, "Did you peek somehow?" Because she bought it when I wasn't in the house. And when I got in the house, I already knew what it was. So she knew I couldn't have peeked, or like peeked as in like I couldn't have snuck in and look and see what she was giving me because it wasn't there before I left. So she was dumbfounded. "How'd you know I got you a GameCube?" And I was like, "Well, you also got me Super Mario Sunshine." And she was like, "What? No, I didn't." And I opened it up, and yeah, she did get me Super Mario Sunshine and a GameCube. And she thought I was upset about it because I didn't smile and I wasn't happy. I said thanks a whole bunch. And I tried to explain to her, "Mom, I'm not unhappy. I'm just confused as to how I already knew this was on there, or in there." But yeah, I've also had lucid dreams. I like to play Dragon Ball Z in my lucid dreams.
Nice.
Doing Kamehamehas and shit.
I've like been all about bending rules or breaking laws of physics.
Yeah.
And as a
And
kid, I was flying and walking on water, breathing on the water.
yep.
Just doing anything you're not supposed to do. Once the light bulb clicks, it's game on. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm. Yeah, and I've also, I'm glad, I really appreciate you guys worrying about me, worrying if I'm relapsed or not or whatever, but yeah, it's not possible for me to, well, I guess just because I can't get high on it doesn't mean I can't relapse, so I shouldn't say that. But no, I haven't gotten high in over 5 years.
That's good. The longest I lasted was 6 months.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I've
should
been
clarify. I haven't been high on illicit opiates in 5 years. I still smoke
you
a
mean
ton
like-
of weed.
No, your main fix. You're talking about your main fix, not your whatever.
Yeah, my DOC.
the only thing I'm allowed to do is drink alcohol, and I'm like 2 out of 3 to liver failure, so I'm like pretty worried about that shit.
Yeah, I never drank. When I was a kid, I never drank. I didn't like alcohol. The only drug I really enjoyed doing was opiates. Heroin, Oxycontin, oxymorphone, hydromorphone, morphine, hydrocodone if I was desperate and was in withdrawal. And fentanyl. I remember I did 30 milligrams of fentanyl in one day. And I'm not talking about that street shit that you buy. I'm talking about an actual fentanyl patch. We used to get the biggest fentanyl patches because they are supposed to last 72 hours and have 100 micrograms an hour. So to make that, you need 720,000 micrograms, which is 7.2 milligrams. But I would, when I was getting fentanyl patches from people, I would tell them which pharmacy to go to, because some fentanyl patches will only have 8 milligrams, but some will have up to 10 milligrams in it, which is 1,000,000 micrograms. And that's because when you have the patch on, if you sweat or you're in a hot environment, it releases it more quickly. So they have to put a little bit of extra in there to make sure it lasts the whole 3 days, the whole 72 hours. And the biggest ones they made were just straight 10 milligrams, 100 or 1,000,000 micrograms. And so those are the ones we used to get. And I did 3 of them in one day. I chewed 3 of them up in one day.
I'm terrified of fentanyl for one reason, because I had surgery. I had cancer.
Yeah.
Testicular cancer. I had to get one of my nuts removed. So that was really fun.
Which one was it, your left or right?
My right one.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was upset because it's my bigger one.
So can you have kids then?
What's that?
So can you have kids?
No,
kids?
I used to have kids, but I already have a kid. I don't want to have another kid, so I'm straight on that.
Okay, then it must be your left testicle that produces the sperm.
Must be. Like, man, I lost my bigger one.
Because...
it's a bigger one because it had a tumor in it. That's why it's a bigger one. Okay.
Yeah,
man.
But only one of your testicles produces sperm.
Is that
Did
true?
you know that?
No, I never heard that ever.
Yep.
What's the other one doing? Just more fucking spermicide?
It's just there. It's just there so that you get hurt really bad if you get hit in the nuts.
That makes sense. You're fucking healed. Shit. No, but and long story. Okay, I was back to the fentanyl. When I had surgery, I've been an alcoholic for 16, 17 years. I told them I'm an alcoholic because when you put you under anesthesia, you gotta tell them your fixes.
Yeah.
So the anesthesiologist can adjust accordingly. That's like crucial if you're having a surgery.
Yeah, because you can wake up early if they don't
Yeah.
give you the right amount of meds.
Yeah. And
which is what happened to me.
I woke up. I didn't wake up during the surgery, but when I woke up to Vanessa smack. I woke up to Phantom smacking me on the back, smacking me on the leg. Like,
On the leg?
breathe.
Come
She was
on,
smacking
hit
me.
him somewhere
Oh,
else that's
breathe.
not so sensitive.
No, it was because I wasn't breathing, and my blood pressure went so fucking high, like I was about to have a heart attack.
Uh-oh.
So I had high blood pressure, and then it was the fentanyl. They gave me the anesthesia and fentanyl, and that shit fucked me up real bad.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
And
Fentanyl.
I'm like, she
It's
told me like, it was like an hour, half hour. She was smacking me in the back, smacking my leg, telling me to breathe. And
yeah.
the nurse was
Luckily, they
checking me
probably
out.
had a tube down your throat, unless they were
they did.
taking it out for you to get into recovery.
It was just waking up, and they kept an eye on me, but I guess she told me my vitals were not good. It was like borderline heart attack. And then he goes, I think the fentanyl had a play in it, and my alcohol and blood pressure.
I think the alcohol was probably I don't know how much you drink, but I think the alcohol is more likely to cause that. Fentanyl, unless it's because your heart was slowing down so much that it wasn't beating properly. That could also happen. But that's how.
I had hypertension after that. Sometimes you get your diagnosis after the fact.
Yeah, and that happened to me after my surgery. That's when I stopped eating. And that's one of the reasons, dude. I hate it because I have a puppy dog that likes to go out and play outside, but I only eat every couple of days, so I literally don't have the energy to go out and play with her very much. I hate it because I want to play with her as much as she wants to, but I'm physically not capable of it because of my heart palpitations. I remember my doctor was taking my pulse and she's like, Jesus, Cody, do you not feel those arrhythmias? And I was like, I don't know, Doc. What do you think? I came in to talk about them, so yes, it hurts.
I've had palpitations. They're scary.
Huh?
I get them. You just feel like random flutters that make no sense in your chest.
Yep.
It starts fluttering and then it stops.
And I know it sounds weird, but the worst of it is when it's not beating fast. It's beating at a normal, maybe 100 beats per minute, but which for me is pretty average for sitting. That's actually really good. Usually my resting heart rate is 120. We'll see what it is now after I just woke up. But they didn't know what to do with me. I tried to tell them that they couldn't give me painkillers because it wouldn't work. They tried, but I told them, I was like, you guys might as well stop giving me those. Save them for someone who needs them but they're like, but you're freaking out, you're screaming, and we don't want you to be in pain. I was like, but I'm on an opiate blocker. You don't understand. Opiates will not affect me while I'm on a blocker. But they kept trying anyways. They gave me as much fentanyl and Dilaudid as they legally could. But I just had to get over it without painkillers because I wasn't willing to stop my opiate blocker while I was in the hospital because I don't want to ever go back to that life. Like I said, I did 30 milligrams of medical fentanyl in one day. It wasn't that powdered shit on the street that you don't know how pure it is. I did pure fentanyl from a fentanyl patch, and I ate 300 microgram an hour fentanyl patches that each had 10 milligrams in them. And that's also how my friend died. He overdosed on fentanyl and Xanax.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
It's scary. My former downstairs neighbor, the whole entire time I was hanging out with him, I didn't know it, but he was dealing in heroin. And I guess the cops followed him for 3 years before they arrested him. That's the part that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
When they charged him, I'm like, well, these people DUI because of you. I'm like, well, why didn't you arrest him right then and there?
Right. Why'd you if it was such a big problem, why'd you let him stay on the street giving it to more people?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It
They
it was a
just,
secret life, though, you know, because the whole entire time I was hanging out with him, he's just a drinking buddy.
yeah,
And we go to the bars, listen to hip hop, and have a great fucking time. But his mom told me, like, it's because she's religious. She's like, I put it in God's hands.
that's
You
really
know,
all you can do.
he was just selling to support his habit. He wasn't like trying to like Scarface it and like create an enterprise.
Same with
You
me.
know, but it was like him and like two other guys, and I got to like know these people really well. And I got a kid upstairs, but every time I see like I know when I see people walking up, I know like you're dealing something, so I just turn around and look the other way.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna smoke weed. I just look the other way. Cops ask me something. I don't have an answer for them. Like, I don't know. I'm minding my own fucking business.
yeah,
Because they were nice neighbors. I'd rather have neighbors dealing than neighbors that aren't dealing and are mean to me.
yeah,
Because at least I knew they were up all night long. And if anyone messed with me, messed with my like property, they would like be yelling at them because they're already up.
yeah. And see, that's the thing, man. Like the normal community at large that does not understand what addiction really is, they just assume anybody doing any kind of addictive substance is going to immediately turn them into these brutal monsters that don't give a fuck about anybody and will hurt anybody to get, you know, they'll beat the shit out of somebody just to get a $5 bill. And that's just not the fucking case. Most people are genuinely just trying to support their dependency.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cure their trauma.
It's sad too, because like I got to meet some people. I know this one girl. I'll give her right to Walmart to help her out.
Yeah, bad
Yeah,
idea.
I
Hate to
was sad
say
that
it.
She didn't make it. You know, it's just I don't know. There's a few waves that passed through in my area that had some fentanyl, and or I don't know. It's Russian roulette with fentanyl.
Yeah.
I know people dying in the early 2000s off of just using too many pills, and they were just trying to alleviate their pain they were going through.
Yeah.
It was,
And see, I started using when I was 15, and I knew that all the rock stars that I had studied that had done fentanyl, or not fentanyl, but heroin, any other opiates. Honestly, fentanyl gets a bad rap because of how dangerous it is, but all opiates are dangerous, you know?
yeah, it's just because you can use so little and you can cause so much damage.
Yeah. The main problem is that now that it's being made illicitly, see, fentanyl is measured in the micrograms because of how powerful it is. And
Yeah.
if you were to take 1 milligram of crystalline material of pure fentanyl, or any material, meth, it doesn't fucking matter. If you were to take 1 milligram of it, that's the size of the tip of a needle. The little point
Yeah.
on the end of a needle. And
Yeah,
since
but
it's...
that strong.
Yeah, and so that 1 milligram that's the size of the tip of a needle is that's 10,000 micrograms. So the smallest, even the itty bitty smallest mistake while mixing fentanyl can kill everybody that comes into contact with it.
I've seen like officers like do a drug raid on someone's car or something, and all of a sudden they're like falling over, dying.
Yeah, well, I've looked a lot of those up, and apparently a lot of them are just rumors. Like, that doesn't actually happen. It's usually psychosomatic. The officers pass out, and there was one that was espousing and it was a person that was a recovering addict that was arguing with her, and he said, look, I'm not trying to say fentanyl is dangerous, and yes, See, the one thing he didn't say, he said fentanyl cannot just go through the skin, and that is not true. Fentanyl can go through the skin. Now, usually in a fentanyl patch, they put this chemical in it that makes it go through your skin easier. So if you're just dealing with powdered fentanyl on the street, really the only way to get it into your system is to accidentally inhale it.
Yeah.
It has to come in contact with your mucal membranes. If you just get a little bit of it spilled on your hand, that's not going to do anything. And the woman that went under, supposedly because of fentanyl, was arguing with him. He goes, look, all I want to know is, did you go to the hospital? And she said yes. And he said, did they test you for fentanyl? And she said yes. He said, how much was in there? She said none. So why the fuck are you coming out talking about how horrible this shit is? The reason it makes me mad is because, yes, we definitely need to understand the dangers of fentanyl, but we also don't need to demonize it and act like everybody who's addicted to opiates and can only get fentanyl now is a mass murderer because they are just trying to get their shit well.
I don't think that at all of people. It's just fucked up that, like, people don't really know about it. I mean, we used to fill it. I mean, when we worked at the pharmacy, we would fill it and patch it stuff, but, like, very, very, very low doses of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I understood how dangerous it was. And then there's other medications that have rat poison in it. I told you about that.
That have what?
Rat poison in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, those are, I think what you're talking about is blood thinners.
Yeah, it's blood thinners. And then there's another one that has some other chemical in it. We have it, I forgot what it was. Warfarin, we had a...
Warfarin. Warfarin is a major blood thinner.
Yeah, so we had to, like, dispose of that in a different container. And then I told you the sulfas, we couldn't mix with other trays because I guess a lot of people have allergies to it. So we had to get a different tray just for sulfa alone.
See, what happens with blood thinners, with rat poison, what they do is they eat the decon. That's just the only name brand I can think of right now. And it thins their blood out so much that they bleed out of every orifice in their body until they internally bleed so much that they don't have enough blood to support their life.
Because they're so small, right?
Yep.
Damn.
Well, no, not because they're so small. If a human ate decon, the same thing would happen to them.
Oh, because they're not eating the same amount?
Because they put so much of it in decon that it kills any rat that it comes into contact with, basically, that eats it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty far still.
But they just don't expect people to eat that shit.
And accidentally people do eat it.
Because it's poison. Yeah, I've heard of that happening. It's usually kids, too. Which is sad.
My ex boyfriend's house, my Cambodian exes, whatever, they live right next door to a soy field, and they take a little bit of soy. Robbie, you're making a lot of noise. Sorry. They have a soy field right next to the yard, so they pick soy out of the field right next door to their yard. So, like, that's how close, like, a whole crop and field is, like, right next door to somebody's house. There's, like, it's, like, right next door to a whole neighborhood.
Yeah, there's a Bayer aspirin plant where I live in Kansas City, and, It always smells so bad every time you go past the Bayer aspirin plant, but Bayer is actually a German company, and
Is it?
they wanted to build the plant in Germany, but because they are messing with so many toxic substances, Germany wouldn't let them build the plant there, so they had to build it over here in America, and now the ground around it is fucking poisoned. And there's some
Yeah.
places like oil refineries that my dad's worked at, and he said that uh, if you dropped a cigarette on the ground would catch fire. It was so saturated in oil.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So the product of we get to play video games and talk to each other over the internet and stuff, but the product of that is we poison the ground around the power plants, and that's why I think nuclear power is the only way to go forward. It would immediately start curbing climate change if we turned every powerhouse into a nuclear powerhouse. Now, I understand that that also comes with its own set of problems, like Iran building nuclear power plants, because
Yeah.
if they start building shit underground because in a power plant, your nuclear fuel only needs to be about at most 30 to 35% pure, at the most. And for a nuclear weapon, the fuel needs to be over 95% pure. So, as long as we don't catch them trying to purify their nuclear material, we have no reason to worry about them having a bomb. And by the way, just because you get nuclear fuel that's pure enough to use in a bomb does not mean that you're going to be able to make a bomb. Because the strongest bombs now, they go through a cycle of fusion, fission, fusion, fission, fusion, fission, 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 fusion, or no, it's fusion, 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 fission. They go through a lot of cycles that allow it to get bigger and bigger and bigger with the same amount of fuel, but they have these shaped charges in them that push everything together, so it constantly refuses and keeps making more and more energy. Because when things fuse, when they what should I say instead of fuse? What's it called when the sun turns hydrogen into helium?
Evaporation?
No, we just came out with it. Fusion. And I was like, I just said it. Fusion is when you take two light elements, like say hydrogen, and combine the two hydrogens into helium. Now, one helium molecule weighs less than two hydrogen molecules put together. So, what happens is that excess energy is escaping, usually in the form of heat, and we can use that heat to boil water and turn turbines. But that extra energy comes off so fast that it can damage you molecularly, and that's why radioactive materials are so dangerous.
Yeah.
But we have enough safety protocols that we could do it right.
My husband was asking fusion or fission.
Fission is a different process, but it also works. See, fission is when you have so much energy in the system that instead of fusing elements together, it breaks elements apart, which also releases a massive amount of energy.
Wow.
And actually,
they're trying to control, though, right? That's like the unlimited energy. Is if we can achieve control fission.
well, fusion is what we're looking for now for unlimited energy because, like I said, when you add two light elements together, like you take two hydrogen atoms and they weigh like 1.1 or something, an atomic scale. The atomic weight is like one. I don't quote me on this, but say it's like 1.1 because you have one proton and then one electron. So it's like 1.1. And when you combine those together, you get you get two protons and one neutron, and then the two electrons. And so you have an extra tiny little bit of energy that does not, because one of the electrons leaves, and that electron leaving makes the two weigh less together than weighing each one separately. And that extra amount of energy that is released to make the helium atom stable, that's where you get your extra energy from nuclear power. So it's very, very safe if it's contained. Right now, they don't have a way to contain a sustained fusion reaction. But for the first time in our history that we know of, we made fusion. It took them it took them 2 gigawatts of energy to create the fusion, but they got 3 gigawatts out of the fusion.
Yeah, it was successful. They gained a little more out of the deal.
Yeah, so they gained 150%, which means they got the energy they put back in plus half of the energy. Because what happens is it's like they had a little fuel of hydrogen that was surrounded by a diamond that they grew around it, so it would keep forming into a ball after all the energy had been put in there, because if it's not spherical, it won't collapse in on itself all at once. It'll do it from one side and fuck the whole experiment up. So they finally got it to condense at all sides at once, making the circle smaller, making it so compact and so pressurized and so hot that the atoms had no choice but to fuse together. And then the extra energy that came out, we were able to measure, and hopefully soon we will be able to use that. And people are saying, oh, it's not as dangerous. It's not like a nuclear bomb's blowing up. It's safe. But that's bullshit. That is a nuclear bomb. That is a sun that we created. We created a star on Earth. And just because nothing bad happened doesn't mean it couldn't.
Cody?
Yeah.
Cody?
Yeah.
So you know how I married Hannah, like 2 nights ago?
Uh-huh.
Or she married me, or, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm already married to White Bay. Do you wanna, marry my husband?
Oh my God, Vanessa.
Only if it's a shotgun wedding.
He's gonna cook. He's a good cook.
I'm not getting married a third time. This is my second marriage.
No, it's true to get married a third time. We're just gonna intertwine him to our marriage.
I'm just,
Hold on a sec, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a lighter
It's okay.
and some water.
I'm joking, Cody.
No, it's fine. I've just got cotton mouth.
It's okay. He's so cute. with the Japanese kids?
What?
I said, you want to play with the Japanese kids?
That sounds weird. No, I don't.
Play with the Japanese
I
kids
don't play Japanese kids. I'm an adult.
on like video games, not like
Jesus.
most.
Make me sound fucking. Make me sound like Chester the child molester over here. You wanna play with the Chinese? The Japanese kid?
Asian people.
I never went to Celtics. You took it there. I'm just playing video games.
I can't.
So, you know what I put on my timesheet, Vanessa? On my timesheet, Phantom Strip? You gotta write down you're sick, and you gotta write down the reason for why you're sick. You know what I wrote? I got down with a sickness. I wrote down disturbed. I did. I wrote down and got down with a sickness. The next time I get sick, I'm gonna write, I got up and got down with sickness.
Stop, you're so stupid. This is
You're gonna get down with the sickness?
Stop. Stop.
Get up here. Get on this. Yes.
I'm so lame.
Time to get up and get down with the sickness. Up and up and up.
I'm back.
My God. We're just making people laugh.
Where's my lead?
Oh, Robbie.
I'm not too heavy, am I? I get a little self-conscious. It's just, you're always holding me up and right in front of you, and oh God.
What was I talking about before I left?
You get too tired from holding me or anything.
I had no idea because my husband was talking about getting down with the sickness and.
Get up and get down with
No. I can't remember much after that. It's
I
fine.
called in sick at work and I wrote down my timesheet while I was
Gotta
sick.
get
and I
up and
wrote-
get down with the sickness.
I wrote down my timesheet at work. I got down with the sickness.
You're such a fuck ass.
They can all suck my dick. They're gonna violate my HIPAA policy.
I guess if he has to call to work now, a nurse is gonna call in and call why you missed work, and that's like a super HIPAA violation. I don't
And
know.
fuck them. They don't care about HIPAA. They only care about HIPAA when their representatives are inside the shop.
Yeah, dude. I think that's really weird to have a nurse call you
Dude.
if you call in work.
I've had
That's
so
ridiculous.
many bosses tell me, "Oh, it doesn't matter. HIPAA's not here. You can ignore that." And I'm like, "What? No." Here, just lean that ladder up against the far wall and climb on it. Get fucked.
Yeah, it's so messed up. It's like really messed up.
Yeah.
No?
OSHA's
so-
there for a reason. Even if it seemed. And see, I used to get mad because I would hear about such stupid shit that I couldn't do because of OSHA. And I would ask my dad about it, and he told me something that made the most sense of just about anything I ever heard. For any incredibly stupid ass rule from HIPAA that you have to follow is because an even stupider person got killed doing it. Or
Yeah, it's
severely
pretty messed
hurt.
up.
Thanks. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
100%. What the fuck are you playing, babe?
How's it going?
I'll push you again.
Alright, not gonna talk to me. I'm just gonna
That reminds me, when I was on my way home from group this morning,
Yeah.
there was a white like semi truck that didn't have a trailer on it,
Yeah.
and out of nowhere, he didn't have his turning signals on or anything. Out of nowhere, he went from the middle lane to the right lane, and he did it really fucking fast. And it was on a curve, and thank God there was a big ass shoulder there, because there was a person in the spot that he was trying to get to, and that person got run off the road. They had to run off into the shoulder, and this was all right in front of me. I
Oh my
stopped
God.
and I was like, "Hey, are you okay? Did he hit you?" And he's like, "No, I think I made it." And I was like, "Damn, dude, I'm sorry. That fucking stupid ass driver. I'm glad you had the reflexes." Because the way he pulled over so fast made it look like he might have got hit by the car.
Gee.
Because he
That's really
pulled
scary.
over into the right lane away from the car really fast. But good on him for looking out. People have been driving crazy today, and also it was not just today, but wait, today's Tuesday still, right? Yeah.
Tuesday,
No, it's
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So it was Tuesday where this happened. Like, everybody. No, it was Monday, because I figured it was because people were all coming back from a weekend or whatever. Motherfuckers were driving crazy, like people could not stay in their own lines. I was like, what the fuck? Was there like a giant party last night that I missed or something? Because everybody was driving like they were hungover. And today, I don't know what the hell made her do this, but some lady, when I get off the highway, when I get off my exit and then go onto the street that leads to my house, it's a two-way street up until the end of it, where there's some neighborhoods where I turn into my house. There was a lady. I always set my cruise control. I haven't gotten pulled over in like probably more than 5 years. And I always set my cruise control. I'm incredibly careful when I look out. And it's gotten even worse since I've got a dog. I'm extremely protective of her, so I drive very cautiously. That doesn't mean I don't drive the speed limit or anything, but I'm not going to be weaving in and out of cars to try to drive faster or anything anymore. I'm a very defensive driver because I used to be very aggressive and getting a lot of wrecks. But when I got clean, it kind of mellowed me out. And this lady, we were all turning in to take a left to go onto the street that goes to my house, and there's two lanes there, but one lane is for people turning right into this turn, and the other lane is for people turning left into the turn. And she went straight into the right lane as soon as the barrier was passed, because you know how they have those little triangle barriers to guide people when it's, you know, when there's like one way to turn. And I always set my cruise control, so I had it set at around 40. The speed limit was 45, and she was driving right next to me, which I really hate it when there's plenty of room on the road, but the car decides to go match my speed and drive directly next to me. And every time I tried to speed up to get around her, because later on, when I told you it turns into one lane, That's because the left lane ends, and that's the lane I was on. Every time I tried to speed up, she would speed up and try to keep me from getting over. I don't, like, I hadn't seen her. In fact, we had been, uh, she had been behind me the whole time until now, so I never even saw her, so I don't know what the fuck her problem was. But I had to kick my car into high gear so I could get in front of her. And then she started flipping me off, and I was like, fucking fine, I'll go the speed limit then. Because I had to go over 60 miles an hour to pass her. And the speed limit's 40. And she knew what she was doing, and I don't know why she was doing it. So I just cut her off. And when she started honking and flipping me off, I was like, okay, I guess I could slow down to the speed limit now. I was going to take a little bit. So I just hit my brakes until I went to 35 miles an hour. That shit pisses me off. I shouldn't have done it, but that shit's so fucking rude, it pisses me off. She didn't have her emergency lights on or anything like that. She was just doing it to be a cunt. Because at first I was like, fine, she can go as fast as she fucking wants. And I slowed down so I could get behind her, but then she slowed down. And so I was like, okay. So I sped up to try to get around her, and then she sped up. And then I was like, okay, I'm not playing these fucking games. I kicked my car into high gear and went like almost 70 miles an hour and then just pulled in front of her. And that pissed her off for some reason, so I brake checked her ass. And normally I'm an extremely defensive driver, but that kind of shit pisses me off. Because I know you don't want to play games when it comes to your car. You're not going to wreck your car into me on purpose, so quit fucking acting like you will. But I haven't been in a wreck or, I haven't gotten a ticket or anything since I've been clean. And when I was, when I first got sober, like I think I alluded to this earlier, I never drank when I was younger. But when I got all my vices taken away from me and I couldn't do opiates anymore, and my ex left town, and she just fucking ghosted me. We were together every single day for like years, telling each other how much we loved her, or how much we loved each other, fooling around and shit, and she just fucking ghosted me. So it really hurt, and I started drinking alcohol for a few months. But then the clinic I go to started testing for alcohol too. And that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me because it kept me from becoming a full-fledged alcoholic.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun at all.
First time I got buzzed when I was 12. The first time I got drunk was I was 14 with my family.
Yeah. The first time I got high was 15, and I jumped in head first. I started smoking pot, doing Oxycontin, and I started shooting up when I was 16.
Yeah.
Well, it was early too.
Mm-hmm. Can you guys see the picture?
I'm
Or
not
are you
on
not
the,
on live?
I'm
Huh?
not on live, no.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna play live if you guys don't care about talking while I'm doing that. But yeah, so I can't, there's literally no, I can't even take Benadryl because Benadryl will show up as Xanax in my system.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Why can't you have Xanax though? That's an anti-anxiety medication.
Because I'm on methadone, and if I were to overdose on my Xanax, like basically take more than I'm supposed to, it
Okay.
can stop my heart a lot easier. The only benzos we can be on are the really weak ones like Ativan and Klonopin.
Okay. I take Xanax, but I don't take it often. I don't know.
Yeah,
Makes
and
me helps me go to sleep.
the
That's
thing,
about it.
yeah, that's what my dad uses it for. He's got a prescription for 2 a day, but instead he takes them both at the same time at night to fall asleep. Um, what the fuck?
Why would you go in here?
So,
What's wrong with you?
the thing is though, is that methadone, there, do you know what a QTC is? Or an ECG? Uh,
No.
It's an electrocardiogram, and it senses not just your pulse, but the time in between beats, and it covers the electrical activity of your heart. And methadone is not the best for that. It can uh, give you a higher number, which means your heart's not beating as properly. And benzos like Xanax or Valium can make it worse.
Okay.
So that's why they don't prescribe those. So, they finally just got over people smoking weed.
That's been my curse. I've been wanting to smoke weed this whole entire time. Like, I've been working piss test jobs. Have I been able to smoke weed? I wouldn't have a fucked up liver right now.
Yeah,
I would be smoking weed and chilling out, but so like my doctor told me like I think you're just self-medicating. And, like I agree with him.
no shit.
Hey, well, don't shoot the hook bug. That's why
Why
we
don't
tell
you help me medicate safely? Oh no,
Yeah.
we're not in the business of helping junkies.
Yeah. And like my doctor,
Fucking
my liver's
assholes.
fucked. I'm drinking right now while my liver's fucked, so look, I'm pretty afraid at this point.
You know,
I got no withdrawals. The doctor's like, you're this far with your liver. He's like, you had no tremors, you had no shakes. I'm like, no.
that's because you
Well,
never quit long enough.
Yeah. But since I relapsed and I'm drinking again, like I'm having a much harder time trying to quit. Like
That's,
every time you fall
Yep.
off the wagon, it gets harder and fucking harder to fucking quit.
you get more and more
I'm like-
physically addictive. Do you want to know
I'm like-
why alcohol is so physically addicting?
Why is that?
It's,
Oh, great.
See,
Let's go into the
your
toxic
brain does not want to be high. What alcohol does is it gets mixed in with the cerebral spinal fluid, and it slows all of, where's my water? It slows all of the brain processes down, and to counteract that, your brain has to work extra hard to get the signals across. Hold on, let me go get my water.
No problem.
Sorry, when I went and filled my water, it took off. We keep a water jug in our fridge, so we have cold water. And I refilled the jug of water in my fridge and forgot to grab the bottle that I filled.
No problem.
So your brain has to work overtime to get its point across when you're drunk. And if you've been drinking heavily or sometimes not even that heavily, but if you've been drinking steadily, then if you go cold turkey and don't have any alcohol in your system at all to slow your brain down, it doesn't automatically start slowing down on its own. It takes time. So what happens is your brain is rapid firing all these things that it shouldn't be firing, and that's why you get serious seizures and hallucinations. That's why it's called delirium tremens. That's what DTs stand for. It doesn't stand for detox. It stands for delirium tremens.
Okay.
And so you can actually die from it as well. They're starting to find out that that a lot of the same kind of things happen with methadone, and that they're also saying you can die off of methadone withdrawal, and I fully believe you can die off of opiate withdrawal, even though it would be a secondary cause. Opiate withdrawal is so bad. It's like everything that comes with benzo withdrawal, except your blood feels like it's boiling lava. It's so goddamn painful. It's almost impossible to describe.
Yeah, when I had to go to the hospital, they told me that alcoholism was like the most deadliest addiction I have.
Yeah, alcoholism is really dangerous.
So get the fuck out of this shit.
Which makes me think that the government doesn't actually make drugs illegal because they give a shit about us. They do it so they can make money for their Black Ops projects.
Yeah.
Imagine if you legalized all drugs, first off, addicts would be able to go to the doctor and get their DOC, their drug of choice, without having to worry about what the fuck else is in it. Is this shit more potent than the last batch? Is it gonna kill me if I do a whole shot? Should I, like, now the motto, which I'm not really cool with, I'm all for harm reduction, but I think they're going a little bit too far with the harm reduction model, because I'm really hooked into the recovery community as well, and this is what's going on now. Like, the harm model, like, you can't even say they failed a drug test if it came up positive, because that kind of language might hurt their feelings or whatever. But you did fail the drug test. The point was to stay clean, and you failed to stay clean. You know, I'm not there to coddle you and be like, oh, it's okay, it won't happen next time. But even if it does, we're just going to let you keep doing it. That's not how you get people clean.
No.
No.
I understand that probably most everybody relapses. I relapsed after I got into I've been in many treatment plans, but this last treatment plan that I've been sticking with for the last 7 years, I relapsed in it multiple times.
Yeah. You just gotta keep trying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just don't want people to beat themselves over, like, not being able to stay sober, but just trying to just...
Yeah, no, because that's not healthy either.
Yeah.
But if you're consistently not trying, because since it's a methadone clinic, a lot of people just come there to get methadone when they run out of dope and they're not sick anymore, or and they're sick, so they won't be sick anymore.
Yeah.
But we only have 300 slots. last year in December we did a memorial where we lit candles underneath lanterns. So, to represent the people that had died this year. And out of 300 people, we had 15 people overdose and die.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked with people who like died the next day, and they weren't even addicted to drugs or anything. They just had some other ailment. Like
Yeah.
one lady just died of lung cancer. Everyone was like, "Oh, she was a secret smoker," and like, no, she was just from like Southeast Asia, and like happened to like get lung cancer somehow, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know, it's out of 300%, what's 15 divided by 3, like 4.3, something like that. Shit, there's so many of them. Shit. Huh?
So many Asians.
No, so many. I got swarmed by enemies.
Pizza.
Just bring the box.
But what was I talking about? What number? I forgot.
2,000? I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember I was talking about the people in the clinic before I got into that heated battle. There's 300 people. Oh, yeah. I was doing the math. I was like, yeah, that's what, 14.3 people dying.
Hey, don't forget to use my glove shot, you know?
Wait, why did I pick that number? To divide. Why wouldn't I pick 12? Why did I pick 4? Anyways, that's more than one person a month. Which, it really sucks. Fentanyl, like, I used to do fentanyl because no one else knew what it was. But I knew because I was always really educated in the fields that I would study, which did include drugs. But, now that it's on the street in such huge numbers, I worry about people developing super bad tolerances, because when I went into the clinic, I had like 12 different things in my system that I failed for, because they make you do a UA when you come in. And I hadn't taken any in weeks, and I still had Valium in my system. And I asked the doctor why, and he said, well, you had so many things in your system that it can't just get them all out at once. Like, it has to take time and slowly get everything out of your system. And that's when I realized, like, oh shit, I'm really fucking my body up by doing this.
Yeah, because your body's like fighting so hard to like you cope with it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Cody,
yeah.
I'm gonna cut this off short, but I'm gonna eat some leftover pizza with my husband, and I think we're gonna go to bed.
Alright.
It's almost in the morning here.
Have you had the Discord on all night?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
just came and charged up on you.
Yeah, I just forgot to turn the Discord off. I was in my bed.
Oh, it's okay. I just want to make sure you're okay. But it was nice to talk to you. And it's kind of cool that you got to talk to my husband too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear my husband? He said he was going to talk to you.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are welcome back anytime. So,
Yeah.
I forgot to check on chat too to see who else is in there. 'Cause it sounded like everyone. Oh, Alyssa came in, but yeah, no one else came in after Lex left. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys coming very much. I'll probably stream tomorrow too, so.
Alright,
Just,
looking forward to it. I'll talk to you tomorrow, dude.
Alright, yep. Peace out, you guys.
Good night.